What advice would you give somebody who want to start doing bodybuilding, compete?
Uh, Consult with your team. What I mean by your team is the people that you know is gonna be there to support you. You know, whether it's your spouse, your kids, your best friend, your parents. Consult with them. Make sure your team's strong. You know, and understand that if you do decide to compete, it's not just about you. You know, it is a teamwork situation. There is no I. Now, yeah, you are the person that's on stage, but at the same time, you may have your spouse helping you prep your meals, maybe working some extra overtime to help cover the bills because you focusing on training and now you eating more. You spending less time at home if you got a family. So if you're spending less time at home, now your family's sacrificing because you're not there in the house. So now they got to try to figure that situation out. You know, just realize that it's not just about you. A lot of people think that they sacrifice. They're like, oh, I got to sacrifice so much. But you got to understand, people that love you, they sacrificing too because they losing your time. Or they gotta, find another way to get certain things taken care of because you're not there. You know, so understand that your family is sacrificing too. Your friends are sacrificing because maybe you're not hanging out with them as often. Maybe your parents are sacrificing because they don't get to see you or hear from you as often, and they may be hurting. You know what I'm saying? So just realize that it's not about you. Bodybuilding most definitely isn't worth losing um, loved ones and great relationships like a lot of people do. Is it rewarding? I think it's rewarding mentally, financially. Um, it could be, if you one of the smarter people. I know some amateur bodybuilders, they make more money than pro bodybuilders, just from personal training, marketing themselves, YouTube, things of that nature, So, could it be rewarding financially? I'm not saying it'll make you a millionaire. It possibly could, it has for some people, but, uh, if you're passionate about it, something that you really want to do, and it makes you happy, then the finances behind it will make their way to you. Most definitely make their way to you. But before you decide to jump into it, understand this, it's mental. You got to be strong here. The muscle, the physical part, that's the easy part. It's all up there in the mental, Um, and if you got a family, you gotta stay balanced. You gotta know how to balance, your training, but balance that family time, and also work. If you got a job, um, keeping that balance, will prevent a lot of issues. And like I said, make sure you talk to your team first, and they understand, what you about to do and what you about to get into. Don't just jump into it. Don't dive straight into it and just think that, because you got some good biceps or some good shoulders, you about to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because I've seen a lot of people ruin their own lives, even though a lot of people like to say, "Oh, bodybuilding ruined my life," or "The NPC ruined my life," and that's absolutely not true. You ruined your own life, because you didn't take care of your responsibilities. You made that your priority, and you screwed up. Ain't nobody tell you that you got to put everything into this and do. You see what I'm saying? So don't blame competing. Don't blame your coach. Don't blame uh, the federations. Don't You got to blame yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people need to start checking themselves. That's the problem with America. We don't check ourselves no more. We want to just point the finger at somebody else for our own screw ups. You got to point the finger at yourself. You got to check yourself. And don't be afraid to ask questions. From some of the seasoned guys that compete. I mean, there's some amateurs that have a great deal of knowledge, but for whatever reason they couldn't turn pro. Doesn't mean that they're not great people and that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I know some amateurs that know more about the body than pros do. Some pros has got great physiques. They got the right team. They got the right people supporting them. And they grow in the sport. And some people just don't have that support. Like I said earlier, it's about resources. Some people have better resources than others. You got to just work with what you got. Don't be afraid to work hard. you know, and understand it don't happen overnight.